I got to tell you, I've allowed it to happen for a while. You've heard me talk about this guy plenty. We are no longer accepting applications to the Tanner Banks fan club. I'm not letting it happen anymore. I kid, of course. I'm not going to gatekeep fandom. But this dude just continues to pitch well this year. Take a look at his numbers so far. Through 56 appearances, he's got a 2.88 ERA. 56 appearances, he's basically an inning per appearance guy, just under a strikeout per inning pitched. But the number that really jumps out to you, he's thrown 56 and a third innings this year. He has 9 walks. That's effectively, and in fact, it's greater than a walk per 7 innings pitched. His 4.1% walk rate is now in the 98th percentile across all of Major League Baseball. And in fact, only 5 pitchers in the entirety of the league have a better walk rate than Tanner Banks. He's given up just 44 hits with those 9 walks, which is why he has a sub-1 whip. And his ERA this month is 1. He's given up 1 earned run in 9 innings pitched. And what I saw out of Tanner Banks yesterday was unbelievable. Jose Alvarado struggles in the inning that he comes into. Command's not there, gives up a couple of walks, a couple of base runners. Tanner Banks has to come into the game with a 3-run lead and the bases loaded and nobody out. And all Tanner Banks does is roll up a double play, gives up the 1 run, the inherited run to Jose Alvarado, but rolls up a double play and gets an out. The odds of getting out of that inning with just 1 run scored are astronomically low, especially when you have inherited runners the way that Tanner Banks did. Now, he's going to lose one of those inherited runners. He's going to get credit for stranding 2 out of 3. You can't ask for anything more than that. For a guy to come into that situation and only give up the 1 run is an impeccable job. And as they were talking about on the broadcast, you would every day of the week sign up for giving up the run, trade the run for 2 outs, and to wipe 2 of those runners off the bases. Because now you go from a 3-0 game with bases loaded and nobody out to a 3-1 game with a runner on third base and 2 outs, and all you got to do is get any type of out to get out of the inning, and that's what he did. This guy has been so good this season, and we've been giving him his flowers all year long. But let's just take a look back into what's making him so good this year. Since August 1st, as I said, since August, 9 innings pitched, 1 earned run. But you could go back all the way to June 1st, 30 and a third innings pitched, a 2.07 ERA, 22 strikeouts, just 7 earned runs. He entered the month of June with a 3.64 ERA. He's now down to a 2.88 ERA. And 26 of his appearances since June 1st have been scoreless. He's giving up just average exit velocity of 87.1 miles an hour, which is the best of his Major League career and in the 91st percentile across all of Major League Baseball. And his barrel rate this year is just 7.1%, which is the second best in his Major League career. So what's making Tanner Banks so good? First and foremost, he's not walking anybody. That's the obvious. 9 walks in 56 innings is impeccable. But more importantly, he's throwing the slider and the sweeper far more than he has in any season of his career. 60% of the time, 36% slider, 24% sweeper, he's throwing a breaking ball. And opponents this year are hitting 208 on the slider and 206 on the sweeper. Average exit velocity on those pitches, 88.6 miles an hour, 86.6 miles an hour, respectively. He's given up just 24 hits on those pitches all year combined. Last year, to put that into perspective, he gave up 24 hits on the slider alone. And he's using the slider and the sweeper now 60% of the time and has only given up 24 hits on those 2 pitches. He's not using the fastball nearly as much. He's gone down from 31% to 21%. And I got to be honest, at his best right now, I am feeling like I'm getting shades of the best level Brad Hand. Doesn't throw particularly all that hard, uses the slider effectively, now using the sweeper effectively. I'm getting a lot of Brad Hand from Tanner Banks this year. And I know Phillies fans didn't get the best of Brad Hand, but go back and watch Brad Hand in Cleveland, and even I think Brad Hand in Florida. Miami, and you'll see the best of Brad Hand. And I'm getting a lot of Brad Hand vibes from Tanner Banks this year. He's been really, really good. That's our Ace Hardware Temp Check segment. I know I have been shouting Tanner Banks from the, give this guy his flowers from the rooftops. But this guy's been so good this year. That's our Ace Hardware Temp Check segment, brought to you by our friends over at Ace Hardware and Ace Hardware Home Services. Check them out at acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next project. Now, Andrew, I'm going to bring you back in for this if you don't mind. I know I've probably sounded like a Tanner Banks fanboy this year. But for a guy that was asked to step up, for a guy when Jose Alvarado got suspended, was told, hey, you're not the third lefty anymore. You're the second lefty. You're going to face higher leverage situations. You're going to face better hitters. You're going to come into tie ball games and give, have leads of 2 or less. And we're going to need you to pitch well. Andrew, this dude's had a great year.
Oh, yeah. Phenomenal year. I don't think any of us knew that he was going to be able to perform this way, especially with the news of Alvarado and what that impact was, and his ability to step up and perform in these spots, and it doesn't matter what you throw at him. It doesn't matter the situation. He's going to find a way to help you get out of an inning, get out of those innings. And a hat off to him and big applause, because really, without him and his ability to step up in these big moments, things could be a lot different for the Phillies.
Well, you think about it just a couple of weeks ago, pre-Joan Duran, pre-David Robertson. What'd you have, 3 guys you could trust?
Yeah.
Kerkering, Strahm, and Banks.
Yeah, that was it.
Heading into the season, I would have said, if you gave me a hierarchy of relievers, Banks was probably, 4th, maybe 5th, right? Because to me, heading into the year, it would have been Alvarado 1, Kerkering 2, maybe Strahm 2, Kerkering 3. You could put those guys in any order. And then the hope was that Romano would be that dude, the other guy. Obviously hasn't panned out. But Banks was kind of in the next tier down, below the next tier down.
Yeah.
Now you head into a postseason where it's like, all right, lockdown closer, Joan Duran. Right side, Kerkering has been great for the most part. Left side, Strahm is Strahm. Sometimes he runs into a little bit of problems, but he battles out. And then from that left side, you're not really missing anything because Banks has been so good. Now, of course, you'd love to have Alvarado in the postseason, but if Banks can step into a role that's similar, you feel pretty good about him heading into the postseason the way he's pitched all year.
Oh, definitely. 100%. I feel confidence now with him going into the postseason that he's going to be able to perform.